So what more can I tell you about myself? In my application, you would have read about me working on a variety of diseases and having a background that started off in quantitative finance, moved to statistics, operations research, and is now in malaria modeling. Now, what this background has really enabled me to do is to take a systems approach when it comes to modeling. Knowing that health and poverty are intrinsically linked, it is insufficient to just be modeling a malaria transmission system or how COVID-19 transmits. One needs to take into account the impact on people's lives, the impact on their livelihoods, the impact on a government's finance and their budget, as well as the macroeconomic impact as well. So why am I passionate about this work? There are two major reasons that I'm passionate about this work. Firstly, being a modeler, one has the ability to impact lives, and this is through supporting decision making with those who have the power to actually be delivering health policy and health services to a population. By able to influence those decisions, by able to support those empowered to make better decisions, we can have an impact not just on one or two people, but on millions of lives. And it is this multiplicative factor, this large impact that our work has here at Masha that allows us to be working in this space year after year, country after country, and in answering health question after health question. The second aspect, I think, that drives my passion in this space is that throughout my travels on the African continent and my work in LMICs around the world, I've realized that we have a storehouse of brilliance and of capacity on the continent. But this capacity needs to be strengthened. It needs to be focused towards supporting health decision making and decision making in general. And I have dedicated, through funding by the foundation, a lot of my time and effort in the last 2 years towards building capacity in the modeling space. And I'm deeply passionate about this, and particularly with respect to developing novel initiatives in this, in developing more capacity and strengthening this capacity around the continent. So when I consider a dream scenario for modeling and my research in the future and how this fellowship can contribute towards achieving that dream, I think about the book edited by Calestous Juma himself, Going for Growth, Science, Technology and Innovation in Africa. And in the introduction in that book, Calestous Juma writes about building capacity in Africa to solve its own problems and strengthening technical competence towards or to facilitate problem solving. And those words resonate with me because that has always been my goal of my career and continues to be the goal of my research. And so what this fellowship, I think, will enable me to do is firstly to support and strengthen my leadership skills in the international diplomacy space. So I find myself more and more working in global advocacy, on global councils, working with country leaders, with heads of state. And I think that some leadership training on how to operate in these spaces better, to make effective recommendations in a language that can be understood by heads of state and at a high diplomacy level would be particularly valuable. The second major impact that the fellowship could have in my career would be to allow me the space to increase my efforts towards growing technical competence on the African continent. And this comes from the space of developing new methodologies on how to develop African-centered programs or LMIC-centered programs for those who need to be trained in modeling, but I think very importantly for those who engage in modeling. I have already started a piece of this work leading a group, an advisory group at the WHO to develop a guidance on translating model evidence, and I plan on expanding this in malaria and in the portfolios of interest within the Gates Foundation, so that we are at the same time developing capacity not just for a workforce to be supporting modeling in the coming years, but also for those who will be consuming and engaging with those models to enable better decision making.